Hey everybody, today got something a little bit different, uh, going over to the dark side ever so slightly. So we got fresh off delivery, this little box, pretty slim, maybe somewhat magical. I'll wait to, save it later. Hey everybody, today we got something a little bit different today, going over to the dark side ever so slightly. All these talk about Apple M1, this and that, M1X, M2X, M whatever, right? Let's just try it out, shall we? So, fresh off the block, we got a little flippity foldy thingy. It's got a kink on it. I mean, how does that stay afloat? Who knows? Let's put that to one side. Also, freshly delivered as well, another little box. Let's see what's inside. Let's get our trusty knife out. It's not really a knife. How do you open this thing? Oh yes. Gosh, it's sealed. It's absolutely sealed in there. Come on, give it to me. There you go. Maybe I should invest in a knife, a proper knife. What do you think? Something better than this sharp-looking thing, which isn't really that sharp, and not the best thing to open boxes. iPad Pro. Okay. Oh, that's clever. Look at that. So as you pull it up from the side here, the actual iPad pops out a little bit, just ever so slightly, and then you can just grab it and pull it out. That's a nice neat little trick there. Okay, pretty colourful stuff. Pretty colourful. We like colourful things. Of course, they go on about how this version is now with the fanciest display. I don't think it's that fancy. I still prefer OLED, but until I've seen it, I don't know. It's still actually an LCD. It's not really an OLED. And what they do is they just put loads of LEDs in groups behind the screen and back illuminated. So normally you actually get, for an LCD, you have a LED on the edges, which then illuminates the back light guide panel. And then the LCD in the front, red, green, and blue, they sort of turn on and off. Well, actually fade on and off. And that gives you the color. Then you can't get really, really high contrast because everything is illuminated. So it's the fault of LCD. Now, they've tried to get around this a little bit, Apple, I'm saying, or actually other companies as well. The same thing for LCD TVs. They illuminate certain portions of the screens brightly and dimly, and they got to do this fairly quickly. So it doesn't work like perfectly well, because if you've got part of your screen, let's say over here, which is very, very dark, and over here, which is very, very bright, let's pick a different area. Over here, for example, very dark, very bright. So yes, there could be a decent amount of contrast between this area and this area, but there is light bleeding. So the light doesn't just go forward, it also goes sideways. So the light from here does get to here as well. So there will be some bleeding, as I say, towards the other side. So there's never going to be a perfect contrast, gazillion infinite contrast as you do with OLED, because OLED actually, individual pixels are individual red, green, and blue. In fact, it's actually red, green, and two blues, which illuminates individual colors. But which gives you infinite color, or infinite contrast, because one area is definitely lit and then the other area is definitely unlit. So here it's kind of cheating a little bit, and it may work, but we'll see. All right, let's see. How to get it off? So this one here is the iPad Pro, 12.9-inch, 5th generation Wi-Fi with half a terabyte. Designed in California, made in China, typical. Right, let's get it out. Oh, maybe there's a little tab here. Maybe I could just pull that instead of using a sharp object. Okay, let's try using the tab, shall we? Okay. Oh, that rips it. Oh, I don't like that. I'm not sure about that. Oh, that rips it. Oh, no. I suppose I've got to throw it away anyway, this stupid cellophane material. Okay, going all the way around. Does it go all the way? It's now 3/4. No, only halfway. Oh, that's disappointing. That is disappointing. It just snaps off. So really, it just gives you halfway there. Yeah, disappointing, isn't it? All right. Still, keep the box open. Rightio. What next? Does it come off? Oh, it doesn't. Is there another layer of tape you got to do that? So it's quite a tight. It's a typical Apple box here. You can see, you know, this should slide down a bit. So let's try and give it the old shake. It's not really coming out. No, it's not really. You have to give it a lot of encouragement. It's just, it's barely. You see that? It's barely coming out. So this might not be the best Apple packaging ever. I was hoping for it to just slide out really, as you hold it. No, it's getting worse, this packaging. For a £2,000 bloody iPad, you would think it had better packaging. Nope, it's just slightly coming out. On one side, may I add. The other side, not so much. So, okay, that's a bit of disappointment. Okay, I've got to encourage it then. Right, come on, get your fucking ass out. All right, there you go. Oh, what colour did I get? I thought I got a silver one. Maybe I got the space grey one. Who knows? Right, okay, typical Apple fashion. Frosted film. Okay, now I am getting a case for this, so there'll be another case video coming up. Now the reason I got this version, apart from flexing, is actually because it's got the AR camera on the back, so I can do sort of like walk around, scan the environment, you know, all that kind of crap. And apparently the screen is not too bad either. That's basically it. Other than that, I could get the last year's version. They all have USB-C charging and data as well. No headphone jack, unfortunately, but you know, that's pretty much today Apple. But also, just beware, this version of the iPad Pro is 0.5 millimeter thicker than last year's version. So 2021 thicker with double C than 2020 version. So your case probably won't sit very well. So just be careful when you're buying cases online when it says 2020 iPad. It's not really compatible with 2021 iPad. Not really, unless it stretches out. And some keyboard will not work so well either because actually of that different thickness. I would imagine maybe they've crammed in their extra batteries or slightly thicker, you know, side so that it doesn't bend as much. In fact, actually, I should really do a bend check. I'm just looking across now, and it's fairly straight. I can't guarantee it's dead straight though, looking down the side. Now, Apple does blame the user for holding it wrong, so this is a fresh, brand new iPad, and if I'm holding it wrong and it bends in my hand, God willing, I will sue Apple's ass. All right, let's just check. More or less straight. It's not actually that straight. It's not really, but hopefully with a good case. In fact, do not get this iPad without like the hardest case in the world, like unbendable, unobtainium, whatever shit you got. Just never ever get a silicon sleeve for it. All right, because they don't give anything. They don't give any support when it comes to bending, because this thing will bend in your hand just by looking at it. You look at it and it bends, right? You get it out of the box and it's already bent in the box. Look online. I'll put some pictures on here as well to show. Yeah, some of them come in the box already kink as fuck. Right, and yeah, okay, let's get it out of the way. So just peel off this bad boy from the back. Yeah, it's space grey. Apple looks more or less the same as previous version. I've got other iPad as well, so pretty fairly good mirror finish on the back. There's a tiny bit of dust on there, but I'm not going to fault them for that much. Okay, look at the front. Yeah, pretty decent. I am getting this with a glass screen protector as well. I'm not going to leave it like that naked. No way, no way. And of course, make sure you get insurance for it. All right, you know, I have no friends who've broken their iPad Pro before as well, this big fat one. So if you got kids, if you may possibly mess it up and you don't want to get insurance, just get a smaller iPad, get a thicker one, right? First generation if you have to, you know, because these thinner ones are just they're just gonna break, right? You know, you put it in your backpack, you carry it with you, it's gonna bend, it's gonna break. You got to put it in something really hard, you know, really stiff on the side. Don't get anything like flimsy. Oh, look at that. That is disappointing. You see that? You see that? You see that? There's a bloody mark on here where the Apple Pencil chargers. That is annoying. There's already a bloody mark. It's a brand new iPad. They've already marked it. They've already scored it. Look at that. £2,000 I paid for this piece of shit, and it's already scored on the side. What kind of quality control is that? Piece of rubbish, Apple. Honestly, how disappointing. I mean, I'm gonna scratch it anyway, but to get something already scratched out of the box, pretty disappointing, Apple. Pretty disappointing. Any other marks I should be aware of so far? No. Okay. All right. Oh, by the way, this is really a bad place to put this charging thing, right? And this is the reason why Samsung put the charging area on the back, because if you look at Jerry Riggs' video, you will see that this is where it kinks and it breaks, right? If you know anything about mechanics and you know about moment of inertia, basically, if you bend this, right, the last place you want to put something, some sort of structural weakness is right in the motherfucking middle, right? Somewhere here. This is the worst place, yeah? Because you bend it, it breaks. Because by doing that, you're weakening it a lot, yeah? If you put it somewhere over here, or on the back, no problem, right? But right in the middle, yeah? And you're taking out like more than half the material in there, you're basically making it super weak, yeah? And when you bend it, that is where it's gonna break in half, yeah? And on the other side, what do we have? Luckily, only a slightly smaller hole, right? But still a hole nevertheless. Always put things, holes, cut out or whatever, somewhere where it doesn't affect it structurally. Now, Apple doesn't learn, right? Because of course the iPhone 6 breaks in your pocket, bends in your pocket. iPad Pro bends when it comes out of the box, bends when you look at it, right? So really you want to put holes along this side, because this side, as you know, is a bit shorter, right? The short side doesn't bend as much. Yeah? The long side bend like a motherfucker. All right? Okay. Anyway, moving on. What else is in the box? Designed by Apple in California. Cut out for the, you know, big ass camera hump. I mean, they're trying to make a good slim unit, but still got a massive camera hump. To be fair, it's not that bad. All right. It's not as bad as, you know, the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra, right? But it's still pretty thick, still pretty chunky. And of course, when you put it on a flat surface, this ain't gonna be flat. This is gonna be like, you know, rocky, okay? So get a case, no matter what kind of case, because otherwise it's gonna be like, you know, bumpy on the ground. Okay, what else you got? Some instructions. Where are the Apple stickers? Where are the Apple stickers? Touch button, yeah. Look, if you can't operate a tablet in 2021, maybe you should be reading the instructions. Okay, what else you got in here? Charger brick. Oh, this is interesting. Oh yeah, I've been meaning to look at one of these new Apple chargers. So they've managed to now, well, I mean, they're not the first company to do this, right? To actually put away the pin. So in UK, which I believe we got the world's best, you know, mains plug, AC plug, power plug, whatever you want to call it. It's got 3 pins, so live, neutral, and earth, which is great, but also it's super safe, super safe. The connection is great. This one here, let's have a look if it's got the actual best way to do it. But let's have a look. Let's open it up. they've got some, looks like some paper wrapping around it. Oh, I broke that. Okay, typical Apple feature where you got a hole on the side, you can grip it, pull it out. It helps it slightly. This little dent in here, it helps it slightly make it easier to pull out, pull out, but not that easy actually. It's still slippery as F, right? And then so the idea, you got USB Type C here as well, and it's got plastic on the inside. Okay, all right, that's nice, yeah. Sometimes people have like a metal bezel around there, but this one is purely plastic, which actually is maybe non-compliant, if I may say so myself, because normally the outside of the USB-C connector is the shield, whereas here they haven't put any shield on here, which may be very, very, very suspect. I may have to double check on that one if Apple is allowed to do this, because this looks very dodgy unless they've made conductive white plastic, which I don't think is in their realm just yet. And so the idea with this is that when it's in your pocket, your bag, whatever, and actually you just slide like this. You see that? It goes down slowly and down, okay, and up, okay. I mean, this may be the best Apple design in the last 20 years by far, all right? This has killed so many people, yeah, at least to my mind, right? I'll kill my feet about a dozen times. You put this up on the ground, right? As you do, I mean, you know, it goes a different way, but let's say you leave one of these plug on the ground. It can be a mains plug, can be whatever, kettle lead on the ground, and you happen to like be in a rush, you run towards the kitchen because, you know, the water's boiling or whatever, there's a fire, right? Step on one of these bad boys, you're gonna get impaled with 3 holes in your feet. It is not fun. It's painful as fuck, right? Right. But you see how here we have actually an insulated part along here, okay? So this is a good way to do it. I'm not sure whether it's in regs or not, but I think this is how it's really, really safe, because you see over here, the earth pin, it's a bit longer than the other 2 pins, like the other live and neutral pins, which American call it live and hot. I mean, it's not even hot. It doesn't even get warm, right? And so, but it basically means that if you put your finger here, as you pushing this in, this bit is not live, right? So it's only when the whole plug is completely engaged in, past this point, right, that is energized. So it's really, really safe there. In fact, I'll do another video about how safe the British connector is. The actual mains plug is super safe compared to most other countries, maybe except South Africa, but they've got a beastly looking thing, which is hideous. Anyway, but this may be the only reason why I would get a new Apple product in 2021 is this flat connector, flat mains adapter. It's pretty good. Now, it's not a new idea. There's been other similar one for the last, 10 years, 15 years even flatter as well. So they've got something really, really flat, about a quarter of this depth. So this is not the flattest, so maybe not the best to go in your handbag. But at least if you go and you put it in your handbag, whatever, it's not going to poke out like this and, potentially damage other things. But it is USB Type C, and they're very, very, very sneakily. So basically, within Europe, right, we have this regulation that says you've got to have a CE mark of a certain size, 5mm, right? And look at that CE mark; it's just the right size, and they've just managed to print it on the inside, which they've cleverly done it, because actually that's actually a different part of plastic. So they've laser etch on the inside all the logos and FCC bullshit. Oh, okay, yeah. How much is it? Oh, it's only 20 watts. So it's a 15 and a 20 watt USB Type C, 5 volt 3 amps, 9 volt 2 amps. Not the fastest USB Type C out there, but 20 watts, half decent. So I mean, Apple normally doesn't give you a very good charger, and iPad being bigger, you don't want to be using that 5 watt charger you used to get with your iPhone 6, 7, 8. Because those will take forever to charge. All right, it doesn't matter what the Apple say about, oh, we'll make it last longer. No, bullshit, right? And nobody got time to wait, 3 years for an iPhone to charge up with your basic 5-watt charger. Get a fast charger. Yeah, you're gonna throw away your phone anyway in a couple of years' time. So yeah, all right. But that's a decent, nice design feature. Moving on, cable, USB Type C, USB Type C. So both sides USB. So this is the only reason why you should get an iPad Air and iPad Pro and not the iPad Mini and iPad budget, right? Is both sides Type C, yeah. It's 21, right? There's no way I'm getting any Apple device with a Lightning port, yeah. That Lightning port is bullshit, right? Everything in my house is USB Type C, power delivery everywhere. I've got power delivery ports in every room, at least 4, 5, 6 ports, 100 watts maximum. This is just great. I've got like power banks coming out of my ass. Yeah, this is the best stuff, right? Never get. In fact, if I was to get the next iPad smaller, because this is the big boy, right? I'll probably get the mini, but when it comes out with USB Type C, because this USB type Lightning, USB Type C on one side and Lightning on the other side, is just bullshit. Yeah, which one do you go? What goes in where, right? They're both pretty slim ports. Yeah, you'd very easily get the wrong one in the wrong hole, and you don't want to get the wrong thing in the wrong hole. That's tip there. All right, okay, but yeah, nice little weird, crossing thing they got on here. I mean, it's somewhat neat. I mean, I don't think it's that pretty the way they've done it because it's all mixed up here, but could be worse. I mean, it's a bit of a waste really because that's going to be thrown away. Just wasteful, really, Apple. Bad job. What else in here? Fuck all. All right. So basically, you're getting a big ass box. Notice actually how the box is quite thick and the product's quite thin, so it's going to break in your hand, right? Because it's so bloody weak. Actually, this would be a good case to carry around. Good box to use to store and carry your iPad, because if you haven't got a case for it and if you're not putting it in the right place, it is going to break. I'm pretty sure in 6 months' time I'm going to come back with like a wonky banana-shaped iPad Pro. That's just bullshit. Right, let's put this to one side. Now, I did mention it before about the rocking iPad, didn't I? So you put it on the ground like this. Okay, well, I mean, it's got 3-4 points of contact. So unlike the iPhone, when you press the corner, it doesn't rock. I beg your pardon, okay, all right? But still, I know that corner is up by about, an inch off the ground, so yeah, whatever. Now, I didn't want to compare the keyboard because, Apple's been raving on a bit about the keyboard, how magical it is, yeah? It's just Apple bullshit for, oh, look, it's different. Because there's been no other keyboard that's been really great, really, when it comes to, 2-in-1 form factors. Surface Pro came out with it first. Here we are, Surface Pro, right? And with a kickstand, comes out the back. This is probably the best way to do it. And the keyboard actually can be detached completely. So you pull it out like that, and you can actually completely detach it. Okay. So I think that's still probably the best way to do it. If I can get back in again. Okay. And it's great because actually, as you take it out, you can see here there's another crease here. So even when it's flat, it actually isn't flat against the ground. So it's the angle of the keyboard is slightly angled off the ground by about 5.2 degrees. So it's actually quite comfortable to type on, even for a decent amount of time. And it's actually fairly rigid, not perfectly rigid, but rigid enough that people don't feel that it's going to be floppy along here. So whereas with most companies, in fact even Apple as well, they've got a completely flat keyboard, which ergonomically isn't the best. All right, but still, moving on. Right, let's open up this one. So they have the same kind of opening type designs. You can see on the back here. So basically it's designed to kind of be like a folio case at the same time. Now, I will nowhere in hell use this if I'm going around, right? This keyboard is purely to be used at home, right? Do not carry around with you because I don't trust whatever they have in here, magnets to hold my tablet securely, right? I would trust my Surface Pro keyboard to be holding itself because I know that magnet is strong as fuck. Right, it's in here. Right, the magnets are actually on the back of the iPad. There is no latching, there's no holes, there's nothing holding together except those bloody magnets. I know the magnets on the new iPhones are a piece of shit, right? It's so weak. Right? You hold it, it just slips in your hand, right? Whereas here, they've got magnets on the back of the thing. But again, the back of the iPad is flat as someone's chest. And it will just slide, right? So yes, maybe on the table, it's fine, right? But try holding the iPad by the keyboard, yeah, upside down. More likely, if you give it a wiggle, it will fall out of your hand, and there goes £2,000 worth of your long-loved investment in Apple product. Because if that screen breaks, that's going to be £1,000 to fix, and insurance and all kinds of madness. Okay, so just don't take your chances with it. Yeah, use this only on the table or whatever desk secure. When you get it off the table, put it in a big ass case, right? Anyway, let's get unwrapping. This is a pretty silent operation, this part. It's not very, okay, so it's a bit different. You see how disappointing that was? That's so disappointing. I mean, you would think they'll put some sort of slightly stiffer plastic, all right, around there, maybe with a gold lining or whatever, so that you can pull it in one go all the way around. But no, Apple makes you disappoint halfway. It's like you pay for a hooker and you get nothing. All right. Okay, how does this come out? Now, you know what? Actually, I think this is a bit better than the iPad. I know, annoying, because it's a lot heavier. In fact, I don't think it's much lighter than the iPad itself. So there's no battery in here at all. It's just a keyboard. There's no battery. Cool. Okay, paper. Good packaging. What else we got? Okay, yeah, it's actually pretty heavy. I mean, this is really heavy. But it's basically, by the time you add the keyboard to the iPad, you might as well buy yourself a MacBook Air, right? MacBook Air, good battery, right? Good keyboard, big ass screen, two USB-C ports. Yeah, oops. An actual headphone jack. Yeah, thank you very much. 2021. All right, cheers, Apple. So yeah, an actual protection on both sides, right? Built in. Yeah. If you need that kind of functionality, get a MacBook Air or get a laptop, thin, ultra portable. Asus do them, Samsung do them, LG do them. They're great. If you need that full time, don't get a tablet, right? Just don't get a tablet. Okay, all right. Okay. Whatever. Actually, let's just find out where it's made, because I want to know. Designed by Apple California, made in China. Okay, well, just because some people was thinking about, boycotting China and all that kind of thing. So 2021, so kind of new. iPad Pro, 12.9 inch, third, fourth, fifth generation. Okay, now that's important because I'm not sure if the older generation keyboard works very well with this. It may work, but it might not close properly. Okay, so just be aware of that. Because again, the new 2021 iPad Pro is slightly thicker. Okay, they've got some sort of insert in this one, so I mean it's a nice touch to have an insert in here, for packaging purpose, but also it's kind of really wasteful and pointless. They're trying to justify the price of a £400 keyboard, still bullshit, really. All right, how does it come off? Oh, it's quite stiff. It's actually quite stiff, this keyboard. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh my god, it's actually pretty stiff, almost too stiff. Okay, so this is, I guess, the instructions maybe as well. Oh, okay. So it's an insert which also holds your instructions, so it's not flopping around inside. So You've got your standard instructions, you know, A6 size paper, Magic Keyboard with like obligatory 1 page of wastefulness. Okay, thanks Apple for killing the planet, and you know, the polar bears and the penguins say hi. Okay, so this is actually really stiff. Surprised how stiff this is. So okay, I think the reason why I know it's stiff because yeah, there is a torsion hinge inside here. Okay, with a couple of steps. Is it infinitely adjustable? I don't think it is actually. It's pretty stiff, but there are some steps to it. So this one is a more or less vertical. There's a detent here, you know, at this angle. Can you go further backwards? Not really. So this is as far as it goes backwards, at least for the middle portion of the hinge. All right. There's no step in it. It just goes all the way down. Okay. That's a bit disappointing. I thought there'll be maybe, you know, further back, but maybe it doesn't really matter. Okay, and then the top portion, or the back portion, whatever you want to call it, that also is on a hinge on its own. I think I know how this works. It's basically there's a bimetallic bars behind here, and then so basically as it you know bends a bit, it will just click in certain area. That's fine. That's a standard method. Okay, so that the top portion does bend quite a way back, not any further, so the angle is pretty fixed. So this is about okay, 37 degrees from vertical. So let's try to fit on the iPad itself without breaking it, hopefully. You see? Okay, and let's see if it just snaps on. So you can see here there's a couple of pogo sticks on this side, which makes contact with the back of the iPad, which has 3 pads on the back, which they call it the smart connector. I mean, you know, it's just iPad really. Keyboard looks decent. Now, it is completely flat, so that's somewhat disappointing. You know, it's not that ergonomic, but, and finally they managed to put on here a little trackpad, you know, trackpad, laptop. Apple took them like 20 years to figure this out, but you know, whatever. All right, how do you turn it on? Power button. Nothing happened. You got to press and hold it or something? Maybe you got to press and hold it. Okay. So it is booting, thank God, right? Because I thought it's a dud new iPad Pro. That'll be pretty shitty. Is there any sort of like Touch ID fingerprint scanner on here? Not really. Okay, 88% battery out of the box. As you can see here, 88%. Now, that's actually a bit too high. Some people want 100%, but actually legally, I don't think they're allowed to have it this charged up. They're only supposed to charge it 30 to 40%. So this is actually a bit dodgy. If you look in the international freight standard, it should be a lot lower than that. So this is a bit of a boo-boo Apple. In fact, a big boo-boo, because more likely this stuff has been shipped from China, and if it's been charged to that high, that's not a good idea. Really, really bad actually. Okay, let's try to get it going. Now, I've also bought the Apple Pencil as well, which I should really call it the Apple Stylus, because, you know, it's a stylus really. It's not a pencil. Pencil, you know, has an eraser, actually rub off from the back with the eraser, and you can sharpen it. That thing there, that only gets more blunt. It doesn't get more sharp. Right, English, UK, why not? Kind of clicky. How's the keys? Not bad. It's got fuck all travel though. It's got like half of nothing travel. You know, if you want to measure it, maybe 1 millimeter, no more than that really. Fuck all travel. Yeah. And it's completely flat here, so your finger feel a bit lost, because if it's raised up like a nice keyboard, a proper keyboard, you're gonna feel like this, okay? Whereas now your finger's like this, yeah, which you're gonna get carpal tunnel syndrome after a while. You know what I'm talking about, okay? Right. Setup. Whatever. I mean, I don't have Wi-Fi. What am I supposed to do? Do I have to have Wi-Fi to set up this thing? I mean, what kind of bullshit is that? I need to have Wi-Fi. What if I haven't got Wi-Fi? What if I live in the middle of the fucking desert and there's no Wi-Fi? How am I supposed to connect to anything? All right. It's not bad. Let me compare it to the Surface Pro 7 Plus. You can see here, look, it's definitely raised up, yeah, by about an inch. So it's much more ergonomic. Okay, let's type it up. Okay, I'm going to say hello. Hello. I think they're actually about the same in terms of clickiness, clickiness, right? So if I go click, 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 about the same. I don't think there's any force touch business over here. It actually goes down, right? It's not one of those MacBook keyboard touchpad thing where you press it and it vibrates and it gives you the fake illusion that you're actually pressing a button. No, it's actually going down a little bit. Okay, but there's slightly less travel here. But other than that, it's kind of similar. I probably do prefer the Surface Pro keyboard because the left and right buttons are fatter, whereas the Apple one is basically like, half height, so it's pretty crappy. What else? You can see in here, like, there's no actual function button over here, whereas here you've got great function button. So you've got, in fact, actually, it's a keyboard backlit. I don't think it is, Surface Pro, however, this is backlit with different levels of brightness. So yeah, I definitely prefer Surface Pro keyboard. It's angled for better ergonomics. There are actual function button at the top, so one layer of extra button, but it gives you extra function. All right, brightness control, volume control. Yeah, it's much more useful, much more productive, much like a real laptop. This one here, I mean, I guess they put it like this because they know that people are going to adjust it maybe, with touchscreen anyway, but still. And of course, you've got your typical Apple silliness, this squiggly, flowery button with a globy thing and option control. And what does that even mean? Eh? Right. Yeah. Thanks, Apple. Right. Face ID. Oh, let's just set up all this bullshit Apple stuff then. Right, later. Okay, let's set up a password. 1, 2, 3, 4. Obviously. Wait, it's got to be a minimum of 6 characters. What kind of bullshit is this? What's wrong with 4-character password? Hey, it's perfectly been fine for the last 20 years. This password can be easily guessed. No shit, yeah? Use it anyway. Fuck you, Apple, yeah? Don't tell me what to do. I know it's easy, yeah? Just look at Kanye's password, right? It's 000 000, yeah? Look online. Look at Kanye's, iPhone password, right? Super easy, super simple to remember. No one cares if it still is. Actually, no. You know what? If he loses his phone, right, because he's gonna get mugged. There's so much crap on there, I'm sure. Right. Anyway, use it anyway. Just let me use my blank password. Re-enter. Yeah, I'm gonna re-enter the same one again. Sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, nice and simple. Yeah. If you have got shit in your iPad or whatever you have that you are scared to lose, don't put it there. Yeah. Okay. Don't transfer shit. I just move data from a PC or a Mac or another iPad or the cloud or an Android device. Uh, nah. Just let me fucking use the tablet. Forgot the password. Don't have one. What if I haven't got an Apple ID? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna say what? I don't want to use Apple ID. Fuck you, Apple. Okay. Okay. Yeah, whatever. You're gonna actually. You know what? Are they gonna force me to update? Okay. All right. At least so they'll tell me when they're gonna maybe update, but hopefully they don't force because you know what happened every year, right about well, basically the way it happens that every year they update the software update at the same time as they release a new device. So new iPhone 13 comes out, iPhone iOS 13 comes out at the same time. Uh, or the motherfucker with the iPhone 12 update to the new motherfucking iOS, right? And what happens? Your phone slows down. Yeah, from like oh my god, it was really fast. It was the fastest phone in 2021, and then 2022, it feels slow as fuck, right? It's because the new software runs on an old hardware. It's gonna feel sluggish. Yeah, and for some reason, it's convenient because of course, all the motherfucker that's been updating their old phone to the new phone is now slowing down, right? And you think, oh, my phone is slow as shit. I need to get a new iPad. I need to get a new iPhone. Ta-da! Ka-ching! Anyway, disable location service. Now, don't tell me where I am. Screw you, Apple. Right. No Siri. No, fuck off Siri. Screen time. Yeah, I'm going to use it as much as I want. Fuck you, Apple. Analytics. No, I don't want to share with Apple. True Tone display. Now, this could be good. So, True Tone displays, iPad automatically adapt the ambient lighting conditions to make the colors appear consistent in different environments. You can change it later, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, why not? It's supposed to be good. Dark mode or light mode. Now, because this is not actually a, what you call it, OLED display, it doesn't really save any energy if you use light and dark. However, Apple do use area illumination, so different area of the screen is back illuminated differently with LEDs, so you will save slightly a bit of juice compared to a typical old-fashioned LCD if you use dark mode. Slightly, not as much as OLED, but slightly. So I like it dark. Sorry, not black. So I'm going to try dark mode. Welcome to iPad. Okay, here you go. Decent screen. Now, I don't know if it's night and day better than the old iPad Pro or whatever. It just looks decent. I mean, not bad. So the bottom of it, it's iPad OS, which basically still iPad system, but with a bit of OS X looking thing, Leopard, Panther, whatever you want to call it. Now we do get 1 year of Apple TV, free if you get a new Apple device like a new MacBook or a new iPhone or a new iPad. So that's one thing that's nice. I haven't actually subscribed to it because I don't think I will use it. And there's only one program on there that I may want to watch, which is that thing for all mankind, moon, space thingy, which I'm not going to pay to watch. And I'll probably not subscribe to it. I'm not going to, update my details in a year's time. I'll probably forget to unsubscribe it. So I'd rather not subscribe to another shitty TV subscription program, and just stick with Netflix and Amazon, right? And just then add more shit. It's already too much shit going on. All right, so what's standard? Can I hide this thing? Stock. Yeah, stock. Yeah, as if everyone's bloody stockbroker. Okay. News, TV, podcasts, books, App Store, measure, settings, reminder, notes, voice memos, contacts, maps, Find My. Now, by the way, Find My is a pretty decent thing, and especially if you have the new Apple AirTag, which, by the way, has already been hacked. Okay, so if you have a secure environment that needs to be air gapped. Now, security guys, you will know about this. So air gapping is basically when you have no physical connection from a secure environment to an outdoor environment. So for example, right, you have a secure server, okay? It's got on there loads of, disk drives, all your NSA, FBI secret stuff, okay? And over here are the baddies, right? The baddies have some fancy Wi-Fi hacking device. They have some fancy Ethernet power jacking device, right? They can do, power on boots, power on, there are a lot of shady things to hack your laptops and devices. Anyway, now, if you had a cable plugged in, okay, you can copy things across, copy the files, run away, take out all the FBI secrets, NSA secrets. But if you happen to have an air gap, right, a physical air gap where you can't connect any cables, there's no actual Ethernet cable, there's no power cable, which, by the way, power cable can transfer a lot of seedy crap, right? You can connect to someone's house and hack them through your power cable. So just be careful. Which is why air gap physically means there's no physical connection, right? But it's air. Air can transmit Wi-Fi. So basically, if you have one of the new air tags, they have been hacked so that they actually can transmit data via the Find My service from Apple, and basically there's no way to patch it because as default, the device will just receive it, send it to Apple, and yeah, basically if you want a secure environment and it needs to be air gapped, do not have any Apple device anywhere near it. Like can be an iPhone, iPad, iPod, MacBook. They're all going to transmit the same thing, and they're all going to be making your environment less secure. Just beware of that. I mean, you might want to do some sort of shielding business, but yeah, it's possible to basically circumvent the air gap procedures if you have a yeah. So I'll put a link in the description about that a bit more. Other people can explain it better than me, but it's a super insecure way to do it. So just beware. Turn off everything, like if you can. Right. It's locked. Okay. Oh, no, I gotta put password in. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Okay. Right. FaceTime, reminder, blah, 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 clock, home. Yeah. All the standard stuff. Now let's see what else do we have. Is the camera any good? Now the front camera is supposed to be, ooh. Oh, yes. Okay. Now how do I use the AR stuff? Oh, I've got to log on, haven't I? Okay. Now there are some like AR business going on here, so let me find the AR stuff and we'll get back to you. But other than that, this has been good. Nice to see Apple moving on a little bit and making some sort of stiff joints here. So you can tilt it slightly forward. Oh, that's pretty scary. It snaps in and you close it. Okay. And okay. Oh, what's that noise there? Okay. And of course, it's got a USB-C on one side, so you can plug it in and charge your thing. There's no battery in here, by the way, so it's not going to give you any extra battery life. And it makes it so much heavier. I mean, like really, really heavy. So I really do wish, actually, this becomes like USB-C on one side and like on the other side, 3.5mm headphone jack, please, because this is looking a bit lonely on this side, it's a hole. It's just a flat face looking for a hole, Please, Apple, drill a hole in here and let us have a headphone jack, please, because, laptop, tablet, headphone jack, please. Yeah, just don't stop peddling your bullshit, AirPods and AirPod Max and AirPod Maximus Decimus. Just give us a headphone jack, yeah? You got a hole in here, there's plenty of real estate. Put a headphone jack in here, right? Just give us that feature, yeah? Other than that, yeah, it's pretty decent. Heavy, yeah. I'd say it's like 10 kilograms. No, it's not really. It feels more like a 1.5 kilogram. No, maybe like, yeah, just slightly over 1 kilogram, actually, maybe one kilogram-ish. By the time you put on the keyboard on it, it just makes it a lot heavier. It's not much safer, I would say. I mean, I think if I was to open it up, which it's not that easy actually, you're gonna do this. Okay, it's not very, yeah, it's not very reassuring actually. It's not very, yeah, it's not the best feeling, you know. It kind of jumps, blip, yeah, and then you got to break it again, like that. It's just not that great feeling, right? Whereas if you got an actual MacBook or whatever, you know, keyboard you have, right? It's just, you put your finger here, put it in there, pull it up, yeah. It's just one smooth motion, yeah. There's no like clunkiness, no snappiness to it. It's just a much better feeling, right? If you need a keyboard, if you need protection, right, get one of these, you know, skins. In fact, I'm gonna put a link in the description for this skin so you can buy it yourself. I have deliberately left the Apple on here, right? I'm not taking this off. I'm not showing off that I've got a MacBook, right? It's just a piece of marble, yeah. But other than that, you know, this is pretty decent. It's not going to give you great protection, but it's going to give you scratch protection, and it's a bit matte as well, so it's not too glossy. Some of these skins out there is like really glossy and, you know, pretty bullshit, but this is pretty decent. You know, it doesn't give you any edge scratch protection, you know, big deal. But I'm going to leave it home anyway, or, you know, in the safe or whatever. It's not going to go somewhere too far, so it won't be damaged too much. So you may get a bit of edge damage, but other than that, this gives you pretty decent, you know, sort of surface scratch protection. And it looks quite nice. It makes it look like not a MacBook, because people look at that and they go, "Oh, MacBook, right?" And you're gonna get jacked. Yeah, you go to a coffee shop, you're one of these fancy hipsters going to Starbucks, Costas, whatever, Cafe Nero, right? And you got one of these. You're sitting by the window, and you've got a massive Apple logo shining on there. People are gonna go, "Yeah, that person's getting jacked." Yeah, you leave your fancy coffee shop, you go out on the streets, someone's going to jack you up. Yeah, someone's going to go, "Right, give us your shit." So just hide the fact that you got money. All right, if you got money, hide it. Yeah, don't flaunt it. Just hide your logo. Yeah, because if people see like, "Oh, he's got a Dell," they're going to feel sorry for you. You know what? Some people might even tip you. Yeah, no, here you go. Here's some money. Buy a proper laptop. Yeah, but if you got a MacBook, don't show off that you got a MacBook, because you are gonna get jacked. Yeah, that's just dumb. All right. But at least on here, it's quite a hint. There's a hint of a logo on here, right? There's an Apple logo on here, but it's just been hinted, right? It's not a proper glowing logo like on a MacBook, so it's not that bad. Okay, it's all grey and unassuming, and it's like, okay, yeah, it's thin and whatever it is, but actually, it's also as well, it's kind of matte, and this is gonna catch a lot of dust, by the way, and it's gonna get damaged fairly easily. Yeah. It's basically got a neoprene coating on the outside. I don't think it's gonna last. Look, see there already. There's already a mark on it, right? This is gonna wear pretty badly. I'd say this within a year, this will get caked in mud, right? Not even dirt, mud, right? Get scratched up and yeah, lose all its value. But you got a nice something like this, right? It's a little bit suede-y, yeah. It's a nice feel to it. Yeah, pretty decent, hard wearing. So I'd definitely say, like, you know, if you need a decent typing experience, and you're only going to be working purely on, you know, desktop application, yeah, and you need a good keyboard, get something like the new Surface laptop. They're really good. Touchscreen as well. You can use a pen with that. You can use a pen. You can use one of these pens, right? Surface pens. If you really like Apple for some reason, don't know what, yeah, maybe get a MacBook Air or a MacBook Pro, whatever. Don't get the older Intel one. Well, actually, no, do if you want to use Windows. and other applications that hasn't been ported over, because there are some hiccups. Actually, the battery life on the MacBook Air isn't that great. I found it's not going to last you 20 hours, more like maybe 7 hours, which is a lot better than like if you got an old secondhand knackered MacBook Pro, but it's not like night and day, right? It's not going to give you a tablet like sort of like lifetime. It's longer, maybe, but not that much longer. When you're using Photoshop, when you're using Premiere Pro, when you're using, you know, even just browsing the web on Chrome and Safari, right, with like 10 tabs open, this would not last you that long, really. Like I've never got it last me. If I use it the whole day, yeah, one day. But the battery life does go down. It's not like a champ when it comes to battery life. So don't think it's gonna last you forever. This will last you even less battery life, but it is pretty useful because you can use a pen with it, you can use the touchscreen with it, and the actual keyboard comes off, and the actual kickstand is really good. It's built in, right? You get it all the time. It's free, right? And the angles are very smooth. You can adjust different angles all the way to the back, right? Which means you can hunch down, yeah, and do your sketching away. You can do all kinds of sketching. Like the way I use this is actually I use it with this case. So it folds over, gives it protected all the way around. It's good for protection. I haven't really given it, the really, really good test, but I would imagine it's half decent, at least to avoid scratches. So, all the surfaces are protected. So if you're working in an environment where you're on the road a little bit, let's say you're working in an office or you got a factory floor, this is perfect, right? You can carry this to the factory floor, get it dirty. Even the keyboard can be dirty, and you just buy a new keyboard. The new keyboard is like £100. It's not a lot of money, right? You can just chuck it away, put a new one on, no big deal, right? If you've got a MacBook, right, and you spill coffee on there, which I have, spilled a whole mug of coffee onto your MacBook, you're fucked, yeah? You're fucked because everything, all the guts of it is in the keyboard area itself. The coffee will go down there, you'll stain your motherboard, yeah, everything will short circuit, the battery might blow up, all kind of shit would happen, right? This here, yeah, nothing bad happens, right? Oh, dirty keyboard, right? I'll give it a, not give it a wash, but you can buy a new one, buy a new keyboard, right? You can't buy just a keyboard and now that's not going to fix it. It's water damage, and you got to throw away the whole MacBook. So different things, but decent battery life, less decent battery life, but very useful. This is the most versatile thing you could ever have. It's got touchscreen, it's got great facial recognition. In fact, this is actually the best one so far, because as soon as you open up the keyboard, yeah, the thing turns on straight away. It recognizes your face, it logs in, no need to even touch anything, right? Whereas with the MacBooks, you got to open it up, you got to touch the corner, yeah, and then it logs in with your fingerprint, right? But this, you got to open it anyway, right? And as soon as you open it, the facial recognition Windows hello, look at your face, bang, you're logged in, right? It's perfect. You can have 2, 3, 4, 5 users on this one, and each user got their own face, obviously, right? So different user opens it up, it logs into their particular user profiles, and it just works. It's perfect. On the iPad, there's only one user. There's no multiple user, unlike Android, unlike Windows, unlike Mac. So there's only one user, so there's only one face, right? So yeah, it's pretty selfish. I mean, I guess it's a way to Apple would say, oh yeah, it's secure because there's only one user. But actually, if you got a £1,000 or £2,000 device, you want to share it. You want your wife to have it, your husband to have it, your boyfriend to have it, your kid to have it, your grandmother to open it. For fuck's sake, right? You don't want to be sharing your seedy crap with your grandma, right? So it's all compartmentalized, right? Your grandmother see her grandmother stuff, and you have your own stuff. You don't want to be sharing that. You don't want your grandma to see your dick pics or whatever. Yeah. So keep it separate. Yeah. So, but Apple will tell you, oh, look, you got to buy a separate iPad for your grandmother. You ain't gonna be sharing that, are you? Right. So this is why, like, if you want something you can share across, the same device, instead of buying one for each person in your household, yeah, iPad is not the way to do it, right? iPad is an individual device. It's not really meant for sharing, okay? and also this as well is super expensive. It's so much money. I mean, it's £1,000 to start basically. If you want more storage, you want more memory, and of course it's not upgradable. Once you buy that shitty 100 gigabytes whatever storage, that's it. You could never upgrade it. Well, there is a way to upgrade it, but it's not easy, and I would recommend it. You basically got to, like, open it up, unglue things, desolder things. Basically, a real hack job, right? It's only worth it if you really love your iPhone, not an iPad. If you loved your device, and you've had it for like 10 years now, and you really love that individual device, right? And you don't want to be paying lots of money to buy a new one. You could do it. There is a way to replace the memory chip, because basically inside here is a TSMC made microchip. Well, Apple kind of designed it. Apple designed part of it. They say it's Apple Silicon, blah blah blah, but really it's designed by ARM, and Apple modified the design slightly and put it in their own source in there, which by the way is also as well designed by somebody else, by Imagination, and various other companies. Apple just repackage it, and then Apple sent the design off to TSMC in Taiwan. Taiwanese make it, blah blah blah. But the memory is separate, right? The actual storage bit, your actual 128, 256, 512, 2 terabytes, those are actually separate. So you could actually upgrade those ones if you're clever enough. So let's say you bought the budget 16 gigs iPad, that was like from 10 years ago, and you think, oh my God, I need more storage, right? How do I need more storage? It is possible to get a memory chip to fit over the original memory, okay? It's super dodgy, but it is possible to do it. You just have to desolder it, resolder it, and actually at the same time transfer files from the old one to the new one and back into the old one again. And then, yeah, it is possible to do it. It's obviously it voids your warranty, but who gives a shit? It's a €10 iPad, right? But you can upgrade your iPad if you really want to. But as default, basically Apple forces you to upgrade to the biggest storage you want. Oh, by the way, on the Surface Pro 7 Plus, which is this one, on the back, you will see there's a slight small slot in here. So that actually allows you to upgrade storage. So right now this one is 256 gigabytes, but you can upgrade to 512, 1 terabyte, 2 terabytes later on, because the actual memory is upgradable, right? Which is great for enterprise. If you're buying this for business, just get the 7 Plus version, right? The 7 version, all the other versions in the past, I've got them all. You can't upgrade your memory, yeah. So whereas here, you can finally put the memory out. So it's like a little SSD, M.2 thingy. It's not really, it's actually a custom shape thingy, but still, it's upgradable, right? So for enterprises, it's great because you're going to realize, oh my God, I bought the budget model, 120 gigabytes, but it's not enough storage. I need more storage. Can I get more storage, please? Yep, you can buy a new SSD, go into here, and you get upgraded. But not so much with these bad boys over here. MacBooks and iPads, yeah, what you buy is it. Oh, and before I forget, now, because people are going to stress their devices, they're going to stress their MacBooks with video editing or 4K or whatever editing, because they feel like, oh my God, my MacBook is so powerful, it's so amazing, I can put on there like 8K videos and edit that. Yes, you could edit videos on here, but I would recommend you get the 512 gigabytes model with 16 gigabytes of RAM, because basically the 8 gigabytes of RAM model and the 256 gigabyte RAM, the SSD version, they will wear out quicker, right? There has been tests shown that model uses a lot more of the SSD. Now, you can use as much of the RAM as you like, because RAM is non-volatile. Sorry, it's volatile, so it doesn't really wear out, but it will wear out the SSD. So because when you're running big application, big programs, right, and the program is bigger than 8 gigabytes, what happens is that the storage is going to go from RAM and it's going to spill over into the SSD, hard drive, whatever you call it. So it's going to use a portion of the SSD all the time. Now, the bigger the program, the more it's going to use of the SSD all the time to actually do the work. Now, if you get the 16 gigabyte RAM model, it will run slightly faster, those pro application, and also as well use less of the SSD, so it'll wear out the SSD less. So your SSD will last longer because you cannot upgrade the SSD. So in a few years' time, when this is out of warranty and Apple is not going to support it anymore, there's no way you can go to Apple and go, please, Apple, change around my SSD because my SSD is fucked, right? And they were just going to tell you around that, too bad, buy a new one, yeah? And you'd be like, oh, fuck, right? My SSD is buggered, yeah? It's fucked in the ass, and it's completely shafted, yeah? You can't upgrade, all your files are lost, and you think, oh, shit, yeah? Well, it's not quite that drastic. Your SSD doesn't fail that badly, but it could. So what happened is, usually companies over provision slightly on the SSD, and parts of it will be lost over time. So imagine that you got like 100% of storage. Companies will sell you 95% of storage, right? That extra 5% will be lost over time, right? So gradually you're going to lose data, lose storage blocks, because it becomes corrupted. All kinds of bad things happen to it, right? So over time you will lose some storage, and it will slow down because it's all fragmented and blah blah blah. All right, but yeah, if you can get more storage and more RAM, actually definitely get more RAM if you can. Like 16 gigs of RAM is a good level if you want to do anything slightly more than nothing on this one, right? On the iPad, there's not really much choice, but still, I'm going to test out whether the iPad is faster than the MacBook. I'm not sure it is. I mean, it's probably similar. Probably, it's the same chip, so it should be running similar. But we'll see. Okay, stay tuned for the case, the keyboard test, speed test. All right, take care, everyone. See you later. Bye.